Public service announcement. The world is not embroiled in a satanic ritual or converting to a one world, one currency government because some businesses don't have quarters and dimes. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you a little something here. Pandemic leads to national coin shortage. Federal Reserve task force created to help. Now, what got me on this in the first place was I literally saw a whole bunch of memes on the internet, as opposed to, down at the deli. Uh, and people are like losing their minds over this. Like apparently there's been a coin shortage, and somehow this is going to lead to a one world government with a single form of currency, and then we're all going to get microchipped. So before I even go into the factual stuff on this, let's gonna have one of those little talks here. Hey, people who think we're going to get microchipped so that Bill Gates and Satan can follow us everywhere. You already own a phone. It has GPS. You have a car. It has GPS. You have a computer or a tablet. They both have GPS. They all have barcodes on them, the symbol of the beast. Because we've capitalized and commodified everything. So everything has a barcode, everything has an order number, and everything can be digitally replicated so that products can be manufactured and delivered quicker. This is what we do. This is what we call progress. But I assure you, it does not mean that the dark overlord is coming to claim your soul because you don't have a quarter to put in the dryer at the laundromat. Are we good? Okay. I'm going to get back to the story part now. So apparently, one of the unforeseen problems with the pandemic was that it led to a shortage of coins. Fast food restaurants, supermarkets, banks, and other businesses across the country where cash normally changes hands, customers are being warned that coins are in short supply. And there's a story about a guy who went to a Starbucks and he found this sign in the window that said, due to national coin shortage, we can only accept exact change or electronic payment. Now, I don't know if this is a big thing for any of y'all where you live. I know we haven't seen it where I am, but I will also say what little shopping I do these days where I, leave the house and, go to a store or a Quickie Mart or something like that. I tend to use my card more right now because obviously money can change hundreds of hands in a period of a couple of days and end up in a cash register where there's a clerk who has to handle money from 500 other people before you get there. So I can understand why people might move to cards. So what happened was because so many people moved to cars and there's so much brick and mortar, so little brick and mortar retail going on right now that the flow of coins has actually slowed down. It's so bad that the federal government last month created a U.S. coin task force to, quote, mitigate the effects of low coin inventories caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, I recall hearing that Obama was the worst president ever because he had like 400 different czars. He had like a drug czar and a car czar and okay, we now have the nickel czar, so, maybe we should tone that shit down a little bit, okay? A 22-member task force to get to the bottom of why you don't have quarters. This is what we're spending our time and money on, so it seems totally normal. Assistant professor of economics called the current situation a perfect storm of circumstances born out of the pandemic, during which businesses that deal heavily with coins, such as laundromats, may have closed, while the fear of getting coronavirus by touching currency may have spurred people to avoid physical monetary transactions. And when the economy started tanking with record losses, people started, quote, hoarding coins and hoarding money in general. Federal Reserve banks began allocating money from existing coin inventories to banks as a, quote, temporary measure. As of April, there was nearly $48 billion of coinage in circulation. 48 billion. So the problem isn't that there aren't coins out there. It's just that they're not getting to the exact destinations that they should be because, of course, all the coins are sitting in banks. And Lord knows the one thing that banks hate doing is distributing money. The Fed issued a statement that it is, quote, confident that the coin inventory issues will be resolved once the economy opens more broadly and the coin supply chain returns to normal circulation patterns. This is a Wendy's drive-thru telling people the U.S. is currently experiencing a coin shortage. Please use correct change or other forms of payment possible. I saw somebody put a receipt up on Facebook, and I don't know, they went and bought a jug of milk or something, and it was like $2.84, and the store actually charged them $3, and it said COVID, 16 cents. Because they're just rounding up because apparently they don't have coins. A dearth of circulating coinage is not unheard of. In 1999, a penny drought, presumably caused by people's uninterest in using them or stockpiling them in jars, forced businesses to ask customers for help or to ration the coin. Today, some businesses are notifying customers they don't have change, so you need to use exact change or a card. So a few fun stats here. Number one, and actually I have this pulled up on the other machine, but the last Federal Reserve study on people's spending patterns and sources show that consumers use cash in roughly 26% of transactions, which is down from 30% a few years ago. So fewer and fewer people are using cash. So no, this does not mean the Dark Overlord is coming to claim your soul. However, what would actually happen if we didn't have cash anymore? At some point, it's probably going to happen. It's just inefficient. I mean, it was efficient for the time to serve as a chit or an IOU. But eventually, in a digital world, money is going to slowly get phased out at one point or another. So what does that look like? Let's take a look. Tolls. Now, I don't do too much interstate driving. I hit a toll road occasionally. I literally always pay cash for the toll. I do not have one of those little white Easy Pass things that you stick to the window of your car because, of course, if you drive through one of the toll plazas with one of those Easy Passes and you don't have money loaded into your Easy Pass, you get a bill in the mail 2 days later for like $200. Kind of creepy. Let's be honest. I need an additional GPS in my car. And again, my phone has a GPS. My car has a GPS. Now I also need to put a State Department of Transportation GPS. We're going to get to the point where there's so many GPSs in my car, they're just all going to cancel out and fry. And I'm going to have an electrical fire based on 40 different satellite feeds coming into my car at the same time. It's a little ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about the smoke, kids. Let's bring it up. This nowadays is what they call a cannabis dispensary. It kind of looks like a Genius bar at an Apple store. This is where white suburban people buy weed now. I have a cannabis dispensary near my house. I go there. I have a bud tender. His name is Chad. And for the privilege of having Chad select my bud of the week, combined with having a receipt, which means I get out of jail free, and I can't get arrested for having legal cannabis on me. For that privilege, I get to pay the state an extra 20%. Now, I'm old enough to remember when this would be a cash transaction, and there wasn't an additional percentage charge attached. Apparently, that is also going to go the way of the dodo, because if you don't have cash, this is going to be the only way to procure cannabis or CBD. Tipping. Everybody, I cannot stress this enough as somebody who is the son of a working single mother who bartended and waited tables, and then myself who worked in the restaurant industry for a long time. Tips are the lifeblood of the industry, and getting tips in cash even more so. Keep in mind, servers get paid $2.13 an hour. So if you're a lunchtime server, you come into work at 10 a.m., you do your setup, you do your lunch shift, you do your side work, you go home 2:30. Basically, your whole day is shot, and you have made $10 total in salary. Without tips, you're not making much. And of course, the government wants to tax the tips of the people who only get paid $2.13 an hour, which is why I always tip cash. That will also go away. Odd jobs. Hey, Lord knows I have done some drywalling and some tree removal on the side through the years to, get me through lean months. $20 here, $50 here in cash in your pocket. Boom, you can pay some bills. Well, that's going to go the way of the dodo, but don't worry. What we're going to do is we're going to commodify your labor and let people who have $1 billion and 3 lines of code take 30% of everything you make by forcing you to do gig work through apps like TaskRabbit or Fiverr or Swagbucks or Field Agent or Inbox Dollars or Appin or ClickWorks or Skyward or Crowdsourcing or CrowdTap or NeoBucks or whatever the hell all these fucking sites are. We want to take the opportunity away from the individual to make money without some wealthy capitalist somewhere being able to take 30% of it by doing nothing. This is why we're going to move to a cashless economy at some point. Dog walking. Hey, how many of you have a son or a daughter? You live in a residential neighborhood. Your kids, maybe they walk the dog for the neighbor. Or maybe maybe you walk dogs on the side. You live in a city like New York or Boston or LA, and you walk dogs for other people who live in your apartment building while they're at work. Make a little cash on the side, help you pay the rent. Yet, sorry, you want to do that, you're going to have to download an app, register to walk those dogs, and of course, give a wealthy capitalist 30% of everything you make. Yay, Rover. Yay, Wag. Yay, Pet Sitter. That's right. You can't get Diane from down the block to walk your dog. No, you have to go to petsitter.com and set up a capitalist digital portal directly into a bank account just so you can have somebody walk your dog and pay them $5. Crazy. What else is going away? Kids shoveling snow. Come on. Who among us who live in a cold weather state have not shoveled the snow from a driveway or a sidewalk for $10 as a kid? I mean, who hasn't done that, right? Yet, don't worry, we got an app for that too. It's called Shoveler. That's right, all you 12-year-old kids who want to make enough money to buy a baseball mitt, all you got to do is set up a Shoveler account and give somebody else 30% for all the backbreaking labor you do. It's shoveling snow. It's literally backbreaking. Piggy banks. No cash, no piggy banks. But don't worry, as we phase them out, everybody can take what's left of their coins and deposit them using a Coinstar machine. They only take 12%. Money from Nana in a birthday card. The bill's so crisp it left an ink implant on the inside of the card. That's right, once a year, you're getting that card from Nana, that crisp 20 in it. Who the fuck doesn't look forward to that? It's the only good mail you get. Trust me, the older you get to the point where you're like, good Lord, I don't even want to walk to the mailbox. But when you're 14 years old and you see that birthday card from grandma, that crisp 20's in there. Yeah, that shit's gone. Don't worry. Grandma's going to have to send you a Visa debit card so you can make an online transaction, which is tracked and traced so that corporations will better know your spending habits. And as a marketable lead, you are more valuable to all the different companies who have your shopping data. That's right, you won't even be able to give money outside a store to the Salvation Army in the middle of Christmas. You won't be able to give the Girl Scout cookie table a tenner and buy 2 boxes of Thin Mints. I don't know about you, but I'm not very excited about the prospects of living in a world where I can't walk out of a Publix and buy 2 boxes of Thin Mints with a tenner and go the hell home with my boxes of cookies. That's where we live, people. This is the future without cash, and it's coming whether you like it or not. And of course, the sock stash. Who among us has not stashed cash and a sock? Or in an obscure drawer somewhere in your house. The rainy day fund. The gotta help bail my friend out fund. The oh my God, my husband's drunk, I need to get the fuck out of the house fund. There's a multitude of reasons, some funny, some extremely serious, as to why you might need a little stockpile of cash in your house for the rainy day or the worst case scenario or something bad. I'm just saying, people, cashless existence is coming, and with it, you will become more commodified and have less freedom, both as a consumer and as an individual.